Welcome to class B. The previous class we have studied about the national parks, and let us talk about, we have spoken about the endangered species. Now there comes a question. Is there any information recorded about the species which are being endangered? Yes, this red book data is the book which will keep the record of all the endangered species of plants and animals. And for your information, there are different endangered books for different plants and animals. So you can just log on to your website and look for Reddata book. You get the information of the endangered species till date. In the same way, when you talk about migration or migratory birds, let us talk about migration. Okay, so now what do you mean by migration? Generally, people move from one place to other place. See, if you remember, the primitive man used to stay in a particular area for few days, and after that he used to leave that and go to other place for survival, right? In the same way, migration is usually seen in our country. Like as I've told you, Bharatpura National Park is the place where you can see number of migratory species over there. Especially there are number of birds which come from far away places like cold regions to our country during a particular season or every year in a particular season, so that they can stay here, breed, and then can fly away to their places. So why do they come out of their original habitat? Because the conditions over there are extremely cold, which may not allow them to survive. So that is the reason, as it is not, as they have no proper hospitality over there, they fly away, they fly to the country like India, where they can live for few months and then get back to their original country, right? So such type of such a thing where you see that the birds coming or a species migrating from one place to the other place is said to be migration. That means they come out of their habitat and reach the other habitat where they stay for few months until the climatic conditions are normal, and then they go back to their original habitat. So that is said to be migration. And when we talk about recycling of paper, right, in the beginning we have spoken about the consequences of deforestation. Now, we have also seen how the deforestation is caused. Now, let us talk about recycling of paper. See, in the beginning we have studied about the deforestation. We know that we cut down the trees for either to make it a cultivated land or either to construct. It is not only that we cut down the trees for constructing houses or for cultivating the land, but we also cut down the trees for making paper. Do you know, or do you have any idea like how many trees are needed to make a paper? Right, there are 17 fully grown trees are needed to make 1 ton of paper. Make 1 ton of paper. Imagine like how many tons of papers are produced every day, and how many papers are being used by every industry, every school, every college, or every firm, every hospital, every hotel. So you can't imagine like how much of paper is utilized on daily basis. So to meet this demand, assume how many trees are being cut down. Imagine how many trees are being cut down, right? So that means, are we not creating are we not the cause for the deforestation? Obviously, the paper which is used can be recycled for 7 times, Imagine if you can save 1 paper a day, that means there are millions of people in our country who can save so many millions of papers a day, and which can be recycled and can be used for 7 more times. That means you are reducing the deforestation by recycling the paper. So why can't we do this? Let us all take an initiative or take a oath that let us all recycle the paper or reuse the paper. You know that during the manufacturing of paper they use various chemicals which are again hazardous, means which are toxic, right? Instead of having all these adverse effects, why can't we start taking up an initiative to reuse the paper? See, we generally write only half a page, and then the rest half of a page if we don't need it, we just discard it. And most of us have habit of, after the school, during a summer vacation, most of us have habit of throwing away the books with the papers, right? If the book is not properly used, if only one side of the book is used, you can use the other side for your rough work, right? So try to conserve the paper, try to reuse the paper, so that the rate of deforestation can be reduced. And when you talk about, see, we have seen the consequences of deforestation until now. Now there should be some solution for this deforestation. We can't keep on bearing the consequences of deforestation, right? See, every problem in your math textbook has a solution. In the same way, every problem which has been created by us should also have a solution. And who is going to find the solution? It's only we who is gonna get the solution for our problem, right? The solution for the deforestation is reforestation. What do you mean by reforestation? Re means to grow the plants again. Okay, so this reforestation can be done. Say like if a huge number of plants are being cut down in the forest, you need to replant those trees, the same species. You need to replant the same species in the forest so that you can go with the reforestation process. In the same time, you can also grow different plants so that you can at least make your surroundings appear green. And you know that there is an act by our government, like either we have to plant the trees for making reforestation, and usually when the forests are cut down and when they are left barren, that means if they are not used for any construction purpose or something, you see that the trees grow on their originally naturally they keep growing. So that is again a natural process of reforestation. Either we have to plant the trees or leave the land like that so that they can be naturally reforested. By this, in the same way, our government has brought an act called Forest Conservation Act. Forest Conservation Act. According to the act, we have to plant trees. So start planting more number of trees so that you can have good, safe air. Not safer, you can have a good availability of oxygen. At the same time, you can cut down the consequences of deforestation, and you can have a healthy life. And I don't think that your future generations may face problems because of tremendous or continuous deforestation. So if you want your future generations to have a safer life, start planting a tree at every house, right? If you have the more number of trees, the more healthy life you can have.